Well, welcome back to another little episode of Whitebeard's Kitchen. So what I'm going to do today is a Palestinian arraya. So the first thing that I need to do is grate just an onion. So I'm going to just start grating it. I know you're not seeing it probably on the right side. So I'm going to grate this onion and I'll be back then with what else has to be done. Right, so that's the onion grated, and I don't know whether you can see, oh, a piece just moved. So I don't know whether you can see, but there's quite a lot of liquid has come out of the onion. So what I'm going to do now is, I don't have cheesecloth, muslin cloth, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to use a tea towel, and what I'm going to do, you want to get as much moisture out of this onion as possible, and then it's just simply going into a bowl. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll show you the next stages. So there we are. I have squeezed the hell out of this and tried to get as much of the moisture from the onion. So that's it into that little bowl. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grate probably about 3 to 4 garlic cloves into this. So if you have a microplane grate, I don't have one, so here it goes. So I'm just going to, obviously, I'm not going to stand here and grate the floor for you to be bored. So grate that in. I'm going to try and make it as fine as possible. Just get that in. So I've 2 large and kind of 2 medium, so that's more than plenty for this. So, and it's just, I like my garlic. You can put in less if you like. So I'll be back once I have that done, and then we'll go on to the next stage. Okay then, so next step, what I have done here, I have roughly about 8 grams, that's maybe roughly about a quarter of a cup of coriander, or as I call it in the United States and other places, cilantro. So that's gone in as well. Okay, and the next step is, what do you call it, to put in the mince and then some of the spices. Okay folks, so here we are. I don't have jalapeno, and it doesn't matter, I mean it's any chilli, so I'm putting in the 3 of the wee finger chilies that I have. I have other chilies kicking about, but God knows that where they're buried in the fridge. So that's some chili in, and then what I have here is a bit of a spice mix. So before I put it in, I'll show you that. So what I have here is a tablespoon of paprika. I'm just using smoked paprika, that's all I have just at the moment. A teaspoon of ground cumin, about a quarter teaspoon of allspice, and be careful of that, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I have roughly about half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and the same again of black pepper. So just going to empty all that in, make sure I get it in. So give it a scrape through, and I can batter the bowl. So that's all the spices in. I bought this minced fresh because I didn't want any moisture. Usually if I'm making dishes I defrost it. So here we are. This is roughly about a pound or 500 grams of minced beef. So nothing like it. What do you call it? People want to wear a glove, be my guest, but I think that's really unhealthy, and I read this the other day, so I'll explain some other time. So in with the hands and just give this a really good mix through, a good massage, getting that onion and all those, getting all those spices in, and along with the coriander. So I'm not going to bore you again to death, so you can kind of get the gist of this. I'll be back, what do you call it, in a few minutes once I have this really well mixed through. You don't want to overfill this. So these are Pitta Breads. They're not great, they're out of my local supermarket, so I'm probably going to use my fingers as much as anything else here. So what you want to do is stuff the Pitta Bread with the meat mixture, okay? And you don't want to, as I say, to have it too thick, because obviously this is going to go, believe it or not, into a pan, well brushed I should say, with olive oil. So you want to get that meat cooked through, and I don't want to squash it too much. So I'm going to say, you know, that's probably about the max, that, what do you call it, you would squash that. So actually I'm just going to, I think it'll be easier because these Pitta Bread are quite fragile, so excuse my pause when I do this. And you kind of want to bring it up to the edge as best as possible. So there we are. There's one of the pita breads already beginning to split a little bit, so I'll have to be careful with that. So I don't know whether you can see. So that's all really that you want to have in terms of thickness of the meat. Okay, so this will probably be cooked maybe about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. I'll just have to be very careful, but you get the gist of this. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to try it the other way as well, you know, just by cutting the pita bread in half and stuffing it and flattening it out, but ideally it should be like this. As I say, pita bread were in one of the local supermarkets. Not great. Can I make my own? Yes. Have I got time? No. Anyway, I'll show you this, what do you call it, when it's ready, it's stuffed and ready to go into the pan. This is going to be my dipping sauce that I'm going to dip my pita breads in when they're cooked. So what I have in here is 2 dessert spoons of good old jar bought mayonnaise. I have a dessert spoon again of just natural Greek yogurt, what do you call it, full fat, and then I have a sriracha sauce. It's a super hot one, and a squeeze of lemon juice, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So that's that ready. I'm just going to put my pan on, and I want to heat it to like a medium-high heat. In the interim, I'm going to brush my little pita bread, and one of them has kind of split a wee bit at the top, so fingers crossed this works. This is the worst thing, but this shouldn't necessarily, this is not what you want, but anyway, next time I think I'll make my own. So, I'm going to brush these very liberally with olive oil. As you can see, get plenty of oil on those, because they are going to be going into, obviously, the pan here. And then when I have them on one side, then what I can do is brush them liberally again while they're in the pan on the other side. And as I say, I'm going to try the pita bread in the normal way, but this is ideally the way that they should be. But obviously in the Middle East, Palestine, what do you call it, Egypt, there's a dish that's something similar. So just want to turn that gently that way. And no doubt some of the other Middle Eastern countries, their pita breads are going to be a heck of a lot better than what you buy in a local supermarket in the back end of nowhere in Northern Ireland. Hopefully to goodness, this one is going to be a bit awkward. I'm going to let these do, hopefully, on a medium to high heat, kind of about maybe 4 minutes or so, possibly 5. So there they are. There's the little babies in the pan, and hopefully they'll be fine. So they're cooking away. I'm just slightly pressing these down a bit, and you can maybe hear that little sizzle. So back when cooked. So this is them done on one side, slight correction. I just drained a wee bit of oil. My beef, by the way, and you do want to go for a beef, or even if you want to use lamb in this, I suppose you could, but you want to have, certainly if you're using beef, at least maybe 85 to 15% fat. Mine's 80 to 20, and that is probably the best, because you kind of want these obviously being nice and juicy as well. So that's one side. Now for the other side, and it looks as if the beef's cooking spot on. So here we are. Here is my little Palestinian area. I'm just trying these out. So it's quite plain, no salad or anything with them. They look fine. They look great. Looks as if the beef is cooked through, from what I can see. So now for the taste test. Well, here goes, folks. I'll let you know what this is like. So excuse me while I turn around and get my little sauce, which I'm just going to place on the table here. But I just want to get a dip of that first of all as well. These are really so good. There's a bit of a crunch, slight crunch in the pita bread. Feel those spices coming through. If I open this up, the meat is perfectly cooked. No worries about that. So I'm going to taste a bit without the sauce on it, obviously. Absolutely wonderful. Do give us a try. Whether it be with a snack, which is kind of what I'm having now, or whether you want to serve this up with a meal, with dips, with salad, whatever you want, certainly do try it. My first time attempting this, so I'm pretty pleased. So, I know. Without further ado, from Whitebeard's Kitchen, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and everybody else around you. See you soon. Rock on and die for now. Beautiful.